Yeah, after doing Watch Dogs, it was pretty inevitable I was going to be doing this game next, so hope you enjoy my look at this, especially in the rumination. But let's go ahead and talk about whether or not I recommend Assassin's Creed 4. Yes, buy it, buy it, buy it! In all seriousness, though, Assassin's Creed 4 is an interesting game because I can recommend it, but only with a really big asterisk attached. But before we get to that, let's go ahead and discuss what they did with regards to gameplay and story in this game. Because see, the thing is, the story element of this game is actually pretty strong, arguably much stronger than Assassin's Creed 3, but plot isn't really a really big, you know what I'm talking about here. There's plot, right? Not really a big, strong focus on plot. Theme, not really a big focus on theme. Setting, not really, well, we'll go into this one. Not really a big focus on setting. But what does that leave us? Characters and character growth. Characterization, character growth. Both of these things are a pretty strong element of Assassin's Creed 4. So if you like seeing heavy character development and heavy character-focused story, this is probably a decent game for you. Obviously, it's set during the golden age of piracy, and it's its own particular take on that. Arguably a much more down-to-earth take on it than other works have done, but let's just go ahead and say that, let's get this out there. The comments that this is the Pirates of the Caribbean game we all wanted and never got are pretty accurate, all things considered. And that brings me to gameplay. I'm going to comment on this in the rumination in more detail, but suffice it to say, everything that was done in Assassin's Creed 3 to change the formula or otherwise, to present itself in terms of gameplay or story or integration or UI or whatnot, has been done better in Assassin's Creed 4. Take that for what it's worth. But I mentioned an asterisk. Let's go ahead and talk about that. If you do not like playing on a ship, a sailing vessel, and doing the ship combat and sailing from point to point, you're not going to like this game. Because that dominates so much of this game. That's all there is to it. If you do like ships, like I do, for example, and if you do like that kind of thing, it's great. It's actually one of the best ship games I've ever played, in all honesty. It's way up there at the top of the list. I loved sailing around the world in this game, and I loved the parkour elements. I loved exploring the little islands. It was all awesome. Now, there is one other kind of little interesting tidbit on this. I have actually recommended this game to a few people who do not like Assassin's Creed. The reason why is because it is debatable that this is the least Assassin's Creed we've had in the entire franchise. See, the thing is, most Assassin's Creed, city, parkour, combat, assassination, right? That pretty much describes the series, at least as far as gameplay. I'm obviously not touching story and plot and whatnot, but at least as far as gameplay, that really describes the game. Assassin's Creed 4 is more like ship combat, ship awesomeness, parkour, combat, right? And the ship aspect dominates so much of it that I know at least two people personally who picked up this game solely because they wanted a good naval ship, simulation, a combat type game, and they picked it up for that reason and enjoyed it for that matter. And in one of those cases, it actually got them into the series as a whole because they were interested enough to know what was going on and why to want to go back and pick it up. So I recommended they go ahead and do so. Although I recommended they pick it up with 2 and watch 1 because of the obvious reasons. But anyways, I'm getting a little off topic. Point is, whether or not that's a good thing is going to depend solely on your opinion. For me, it was great because at the very least it was well presented. It was well executed. The ship combat. If you played the ship combat in 3 and you didn't like it, you might not like it in 4. But it is presented much differently. I'll talk about specifics later in the rumination. But the way that you utilize the ship is genuinely different in 4 than it was in 3 in terms of interface and gameplay. So I guess that's really all I have to say. I loved the hell out of this game. Oh, no, there is one other thing I want to mention here, which I'm going to have to edit out because I forgot to look up a number real quick. Edit! Oh, I don't actually remember what pose I was in. Here's this last little point I want to tack on here. This is just kind of interesting. Assassin's Creed games, on average for me, are anywhere from 30 to 50 hours in terms of time investment. The shortest one was actually Assassin's Creed 1, believe it or not. But for example, my next longest was 52 hours. That was in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood specifically. A lot of time spent playing that game, right? The thing is, Watch Dogs. This is going to be the weird thing. I'm going to lead into this. Watch Dogs was a 27-hour campaign for me. It took me 27 hours to finish that game. If you asked me that, looking back, I'm like, wow, when I looked it up just now, and when I looked it up earlier, and I was going to make this point, I was like, wow, that's really short. Because it sure as hell didn't feel short. It felt like I was slogging through. It's like, trying to get through there the whole game. By contrast, Assassin's Creed 4 felt like it blew by because I was having fun the whole time. And my playtime in Assassin's Creed 4 is 77 hours. That's counting Freedom Cry, which didn't actually transfer right. But yeah. So, yeah. That's, I think that gets across my point nicely, doesn't it? So, regardless, I hope I'll see you on the Rumination. Catch you next time, guys.